Hello, welcome back. Another short flight. This time is a little less than 200 nautical miles from Toronto towards Detroit Metro. Kilo Delta Tango Whiskey. So taking off runway 23, release parking brakes. Flaps are set at 5, auto brakes is on rejected takeoff, and the altimeter is 3044. We have for the moment minus 12 degrees on the ground. It's kind of crazy. So we should put some engine anti-ice to be on the safe side. So we turn a right on Echo Yankee and then immediately left on Echo. So turning right on Echo Yankee and immediately left on Echo. After that it will be a right on Hotel. Flaps 5 are set and auto brakes on rejected takeoff. We are on Echo and we are crossing November, and we need to take right on Hotel. So it is not this one. Crossing November. Could use some more thrust. So this is now Golf on the left. And Hotel could be the next one on the right. Thrust idle. And indeed Hotel is identified on the right. Some brakes, 10 knots for the turn, turning right, and on this taxiway Hotel we will cross runway 15 left, and 15 left is identified. Can put some lights, more lights, strobe lights can come on. So crossing runway 15 left and all the way straight on till the holding point, runway 23. And runway 23 is just somewhere there. So we are now nearly clear of runway 15 left. Continuing on Hotel, crossing taxiway Bravo. So we have some wind. It's 260 at 3 knots, so practically no wind. Or wind calm. There is the holding point coming. Thrust at idle and turning left for the holding point. So runway heading is 236 degrees. And we can stop here. Put the landing lights on and continue entering the runway, ready for the departure. Thrust at 30%. And entering the runway, thrust idle. Turning left 236 degrees. Not too bad. Thrust at 40%. Takeoff power set. Auto thrust on. Toga.
$80 knots.
Check.
V1 rotate.
Rotate. 5-degree pitch. Continue. 10-degree pitch. Gear up.
Positive rate.
Maintaining 10 degrees. Flaps 2.
400.
Flaps 1. Passing Yankee Tango Papa. Flaps up. Reduce thrust.
$1,000.
And autopilot can come on. still on a 236 heading till Yankee Tango Papa 9 nautical mile, 2.5. And after that we turn left on a heading 221 towards waypoint Okuti, Oscar Kilo Uniform Tango India. And we have the next VOR Yankee X-ray uniform that we will need to intercept on a 255 course towards the VOR. Leveling now at 6,000 feet. Waiting for the 9-mile marker. Six nautical mile, level flat, altitude 6,000 feet. On the QNH 3044, speed is 240 knots. So far, so good. 8 nautical miles from the VOR. 8.5, turning left heading 221. On that heading we need to intercept next VOR 11720. Yankee X-ray uniform is identified and the course will be 255. Put the VOR needle. So we have 1 dot deviation, slightly more, and we intercept on this heading the 255 course towards Yankee X-ray uniform, and apparently that is the London VOR, believe it or not. Yeah, Yankee X-ray uniform is London. The MTC is a TACAN that we cannot tune. Frequencies 133.7. So Vorlock is entered and active. And after that we can start the climb. Slowly the needle is coming. So the distance to London VOR is 61.2 nautical mile. Half a dot deviation. And we are now turning towards the VOR. So we can increase the speed to 50 knots and climb to flight level 220. (1800 feet per minute should be enough. Match the speed buck with the heading 256. We have a 9 knots headwind. So after the London, the radial will be then 261. Towards the Takan Mike Tango Charlie, and then a left turn towards NDB Delta Echo, and then the arrival at Detroit Metro. Passing 8,000 feet, we can select landing lights off, runway turn off, lights off, taxi lights off, start ignition switches to off, logo light off, wheel well off, and seatbelt signs to auto. Auto brakes can come off, and gear off. Passing now 10,000 feet, increase the speed to 85. So we still have more than 5 tons of fuel, and destination will be in 156 nautical mile. We will still have 4 tons remaining. Estimated time of arrival 11:32, so roughly 30 minutes from now. London VOR 41 nautical mile. We can probably already check the weather at the arrival. Airport elevation 645 feet. The wind is calm. We probably can take any wind, any runway, and looks like either 21 right or 22 left would be convenient. 12,000 feet runway, so let's go for 22 left, ILS 22 left. ILS 22 left from Ulka. So from the NDB it will be heading 227 to intercept the ILS. Not too bad. So let's program the arrival. 22 left. So Delta Echo to Rouge VOR in the Rouge intersection, then Ulca, and then 2 left. On the init page we have 12,000 feet runway. We use flaps 30, 142 for the approach speed, and we could use auto brake 2 as enough for the braking. So passing now 18,000 feet, altimeter can go to standard. As we are still in the climb for a short period. So the descent will be around 60 miles from the airport. We have flight level 200 times 3, 20 times 360, if the math is correct. So on the fixed page we can use runway 22 left, and with 3 rings, one at 4 miles,
to go.
the second ring at 10 miles, and a third ring at 20 miles. Of course the transition level will be flight level 180, standard in the US. And we are now leveling at flight level 200, engaging VNAV, and increase the speed to 301. So London VOR is now 16 nautical mile. What we do, we engage heading select, change course to 261, and re-engage Vorlock. And because it is so within the range, it will immediately intercept that radial using probably a 30-degree angle to the left. No, it's only 10 degrees to the left. And we are taking back the course towards London. So we are 9 miles now from the VOR, still ahead. And we now have a 63 knots headwind mostly. Now we can check the components of the wind if we wanted to. Progress page 2. Headwind is 45 knots. Crosswind is 44 knots from the right. So it's nearly a 45 degrees angle wind. 3.6, and again we have that difference 3.4, and here it's already disappeared, but there was two knots, 2 miles difference. Needle switching behind us now, and we are on the radial 261, because we do not get the next VOR. What we can use is the NDB 338, and that is the Delta Echo NDB, so Detroit NDB, and exactly that is Detroit Mats Detroit. So we are still locked on the 261 radial from London, and we are waiting for the NDB signal, which will then be on our left. We should use 246 to go there, and then we can plan for the arrival. So the ILS first. On the approach page, ILS 110.7, India Delta Whiskey Charlie, and 216 on the heading. (110.7) on the ILS, both sides. (216) on the heading, so we can put that on nav 2, not yet on nav 1 of course. So for the moment London VOR 14 nautical miles away. Top of descent is now in 28 nautical mile. So the local time is now 5 o'clock 14 minutes, and the Zulu time is 11:15. So there is a 6 hours difference between the local time and the Zulu time. That's why it's still so dark. Probably the sun goes up at 6:30, so it will still be a night arrival in Detroit Metro. top of descent is coming in about 6 miles, so we have already it there. We have the warning to reset the MCP altitude, so let's go down to 5,000. feet, and the QNH will be 3046. We can pre-tune that. It's high pressure, 3046. Now 3046 is set. Speed is now reducing, and descent is also coming, so we can disengage VNAV, go to vertical speed, go for smoother descent. In speed mode we can reduce to 250. So idle thrust descent. We are passing now flight level 185 for 5,000 feet. So we can select the altimeter 3046. Now there we see that we are a little high, no, a little low, below the VNAV path for about 500 feet, but it is decreasing, so don't do anything yet. And we do see the 20-mile range wing appearing. Still have no sign of the NDB. Passing now 16,000 feet for 5,000 feet, and the speed is 265, decreasing very slowly. Auto brakes 2 is set. We can select seatbelt signs on. Sure, we did an update, so I don't know if the PA system is correct. Yeah, it's still 12, so this is good. So London VOR is 64 nautical mile away behind us. And we are now seems to be getting the DE NDB. So what we can do is go to heading mode, select 246 radial, and when the NDB pointer is in that radial, we turn left to have the ground track within the NDB needle. And to make it easy, we will stay on that heading till we intercept the ILS. So NDB needle is nearly into the radial 246 now, in fact, so we can turn left. Until the ground track is also within the NDB pointer. We could also reduce the descent rate because speed is still high. And we should reduce the speed now to 220 knots. 261, ATC yelling at us. Well, that's too much. So the white line is the track line with the ground. It has to be inside the NDB pointer. So on this heading we should see if we catch the ILS already. Maybe not yet. Still too far away. Speed is now 252, still a little high. On the constraint we should be at the NDB 5,000 feet and then 3,000. So the NDB is still ahead, so we should turn left a little. Welcome back after this long break. So we are flying towards the NDB Delta Echo, and the radial to the NDB is 246, so we are nearly there. So for the moment I'm heading 255, and we are descending to 3,000 feet on a QNH or altimeter 3047. Outside temperature minus 11 degrees, and we are landing on 22 left. Auto brakes 2 is set. We can now put the landing lights on. Taxi light, logo light. Start ignition switches to continuous. We are in the soup. turning to 246.
Thousand to go.
Though the runway heading is 216, so probably on this heading we can intercept the ILS. So let's put the ILS in nav 1 and nav 2. Speed 240, we can decrease the speed to 220 now. Speed brakes armed. So we have the 3 rings around the runway. In 5 miles we will cross the first ring at 20 miles. We are already at 3000 feet. Speed 220 knots. So we have the extended runway center line indicated. The ILS is now tuned. India Delta Whiskey Charlie is identified. Distance to the runway 25.1 nautical mile. All good. So landing at Detroit Metro, Kilo Delta Tango Whiskey. So the landing is now foreseen in about less than 10 minutes, 14:06, 13:58, so 8 minutes to land. Still in the soup, zero visibility. Current wind is 211 at 13. Still going towards the NDB. You can turn now 5 degrees to the left, and the NDB pointer is turning, so we are over the NDB. Delta Bravo or Delta Echo just past the NDB. The auto marker is flashing. 18 DME. We can select Volok to intercept the ILS 216. And as soon as we are on the ILS, we will reduce the speed to something more reasonable, like 160 knots, till, and now the localizer becomes active. 16 nautical mile, and Volok capture. And turning left on the ILS. So let's reduce the speed to 180. And at 215 we can select flaps 1, established now on the localizer, heading 217. So practically the wind is totally a headwind. Maintaining 3000 feet, flaps 5. And reducing the speed to 160 now. Approach mode armed. Passing 170, flaps 10. So auto throttle off. Thrust at 60%. DME gear down. Gear down 3 green, flaps 15. Glide slope is alive. Maintaining 160 knots. Thrust 68%. .2 nautical mile. Intercepting the glide any moment now. So the airport elevation is 650. And descending with the glide, reducing thrust 40%, 45. We can now reduce the speed to 150. Flaps 25. Flaps 30. Speed 150 knots, passing 2,400 feet. Still zero visibility to the runway. It's 1,500 feet of AGL. Speed is getting a little low. 145. Increased thrust 64%. Speed is now back 150. About to see the runway, just now, so autopilot off, runway is in sight, continue the descent, reduce thrust a little high.
Flight slow. Flight slow.
Come on.
Flight slow.
40, 30, 20,
Reducing thrust, closing thrust.
10,
No way. Was late to the rounding.
80 knots.
Stow the reverses.
Thank you for flying Ryanair. Last year, over 90% of our flights arrived on time. We hope you enjoyed yours, and we look forward to welcoming you on board again soon. Ryanair. Low fares, made simple.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're all very welcome to this airport. For your own comfort,
So we exit the runway here on the left.
the aircraft has come to complete stop, and the captain has switched off the fasten seatbelt sign. Please refrain from smoking until you have reached the destination.
Landing light can come off.
Outside the terminal building. On behalf of your crew and
Start
host,
switches
very
can
much
come
thank
off.
you to fly with us, and we wish you a safe onward journey.
Taxiway Yankee 4. Runway turn off can come off. APU starting. So let's turn here. And parking brakes set. APU started, gen on the APU, and engines off. Come on. I say cut off. And engine number 2 off. Fuel pumps off. Maxi light off. Strobe lights off. And fasten seat belts off. Now, let's have a look at this replay. visibility, but still. A little high here. Correcting now. Not too bad on the runway center line. Very little wind also, that helps. Why the spoilers are deflected. Starting to... maybe it was too early indeed. Yeah. It was not a hard landing. Not very good neither. Flaring too early. See if we can repeat to exit when we are stopped. Let's stop here and quit the replay, and we shall see. No, it's so good. It's good. We didn't crash. What is this truck doing? Hello, sir. Blowing our engine. Of course, we are not looking very good, do we? Okay, well, next time, tomorrow, we finally go to Chicago from here. See you tomorrow. Bye for now. What is this cursor doing?